In today's session of Divorce Court, David Phillips says he knows he wasn't the perfect husband to Amy.
I didn't hug her enough and I didn't kiss her enough, but I can't do it 24/7.
Why not?
Because I gotta work.
What?
But when an unlikely source told him that she was cheating, he was devastated.
Her best friend had come up to me when I was at work.
He's lying.
Okay, he's lying. Let me hear the lie.
She said, Dave, Amy's seeing another guy while you're at work.
And the best friend was really concerned about you and wanted to make sure that you weren't hurt.
Now she says he wasted no time getting over the heartache.
Well, she said that you brought in her best friend and put her in her bed.
It was our bed, but I ended up paying for it because she left everything in the house.
Oh,
Now she's pregnant with his kid.
is this the same best friend that came to say, I don't want you to get hurt? That your wife is seeing somebody else? Is that the same best friend?
Today, Amy Malone and David Phillips get their day in Divorce Court.
All rise. Court is now in session. Maybelline Ephraim presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the matter of David Phillips versus Amy Malone. Mrs. Malone, I understand that you've been married for 2.5 years.
Yes.
And you want a divorce.
Yes.
What's that all about?
Well, my husband's made it very obvious that he doesn't want me anymore. He kicked me out almost
That's
a year
not
ago.
true, Your Honor. I did not kick
He
No.
kicked you out of the house?
Yes, he kicked
almost
me
Almost
out.
2 years ago.
Yeah, no, it'll be in June, it'll be a year. 3 days later, he moved in my best friend, and now she's pregnant.
Oh,
Okay.
you couldn't have made it any more obvious than that, do you think?
No, that's not the way it happened,
You
Your
kicked
Honor.
your
Yes, it is
wife
the way it
out a
happened.
year
I did not
ago,
kick
moved
her
in
out.
her
It is the
best
way it
friend.
I did not kick her out
Yes,
of the house.
he did.
When I was working at a gas
What do you
station.
call it?
She moved out.
No, he told me he
No,
wanted me
she-
to leave.
I did not
He
tell her to
said,
leave.
I want you to move out of the house.
I did
don't
not
want
tell
you
her
here
to leave the
anymore.
house.
What
Yes,
did you
he
tell
What
her?
happened was I was working at a gas station. I was working third shift, and she was complaining and complaining that I didn't spend enough time
That's
with her.
right, that's right.
I finally
because
got-
he was taking
Hold
I
on,
finally did a
wait
good-
just a minute.
I finally did
Wait. Both of you are talking at the same time. You can't do that.
Well, you asked me the question, not her.
And
So she needs to be quiet so I can talk.
I said both of you were talking at the same time. I don't need any help directing my
Okay.
court. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Got us a little smart one here today, huh?
Somebody be sitting outside on the bench, I think.
You'll be sitting outside real soon. You want to tell me your story?
Yes, I do.
You need to get the smirk off your face and get ready to tell it to me and stop trying to be smart with me.
I'm not trying to be smart.
All right.
I was working a third shift job. I did good, and they moved me into a management position. That meant more money for the house, and I could spend the evenings with her instead of having to work thirds.
Which he didn't.
Instead
Why-
of having to work when?
Instead of having to work third shift. I could be home at night with her instead now. While I was out doing this management job, I found her cheating with another man.
No, I was not cheating.
So what do you
on
mean
her.
cheating? What was she doing? What
I
you
was
find
not
her
cheating.
doing?
She was going behind my back.
I was not
and she was,
cheating.
she
Now
was
you
going,
need to be quiet.
He's lying.
Okay, he's lying. Let me hear the lie.
Sorry.
Continue,
Her-
Mr. Phillips.
Her best friend had come up to me when I was at work and told me, she said, Dave, I need to tell you this because I don't want to see you going through this no more, but Amy's seeing another guy while you're at work. When Amy had came to my work...
And the best friend was really concerned about you and wanted to make sure that you weren't hurt. Is that right?
At the time, yes.
And she told you that your wife was seeing another man.
Yes.
And what
And
else
I
did she
confront-
tell you?
And I confronted my wife, and she told me she was up seeing this man while I was at work. And I even called the man, and he even told me they were seeing each other too.
You had the nerve to call the man as well?
Yes, I wanted to ask him.
And he said yes.
He
He
didn't say
said
it
yes.
fair.
He
didn't say it fair.
sat there. You both told me that you've been seeing him
He didn't say it
for the last
fair.
week.
What did you
And-
call it?
I told Dave when he confronted me about it, I told him straight up, matter of factly, this was not a romantic thing. This man had been friends, grew up with my brothers, and that we were all friends.
You were just talking.
Yes, there was
Just talking.
always a group of people around.
If she
there
was just
always
talking, then she
other
would-
women. There was always other women and other men there.
So why was it a secret then? Why didn't he know that this man was your friend and you were going to his house?
It wasn't a
Thank you.
secret. He just wasn't paying enough attention to even ask about what I did during the day. He didn't even bother
I
to
did
ask
too
me.
ask.
No.
You
Was
just
he
didn't
working
come up-
during the day?
If you weren't
He
having an
was
affair,
working
then
during the day,
you
yes.
wouldn't have told my
And he
daughter, don't
didn't-
tell Daddy we were here.
And he
Huh?
didn't.
What?
Yes.
She told your daughter, don't tell
She
Daddy?
told my
So
daughter,
she went up
"Don't
to this
tell
other
Dad
man's
we
house
were up
with
here."
with your daughter?
Yes.
We
How
were
old is the
only
daughter?
friends.
She's 4 years old.
We were only
4 years
friends.
old. Did you tell your daughter not to tell Daddy?
No, I didn't. I said, I don't think, no, I didn't.
What did you say?
Amy.
No, I did not.
What
I
did you
told
say?
her, I said, if Daddy asks you, then don't lie. I said, but if Daddy doesn't ask you, then you don't need to see anything.
That is not true.
And that is what I said.
Then you don't need to see anything.
That you don't need to say anything, is what I told her.
So if Daddy asks you a question, don't lie. But if Daddy doesn't ask you, don't tell.
3 different times when we were out together, me and my husband and my
Why
daughter,
would you,
she
wait
asked
a
to
minute,
go to this
why would you
person's
tell
house.
your daughter anything? She's
And
4
I
years-
happened to tell him one time I actually had gone over there, and then I was going to call him
After
to
the
go
fact.
over there.
Who you talking
No, it
to?
wasn't after
the fact.
I
That
had
day
told
when I-
him.
You
when
need to know that I'm not listening to either one of you.
I had told him.
I'm not listening. Because you just kept talking over my question. Why would you have to tell your daughter anything? If she's 4 years old, you're taking her over to a friend's house. It's totally platonic, totally innocent. There is nothing to it. Why would you have to tell her anything?
Because I knew that if she had said anything, that he would make it. He would just assume that something had happened.
Why
He
couldn't you
wouldn't-
just tell him yourself that you were going over to the man's house?
He wasn't
on.
telling
It
me
was so
where he was
innocent.
going.
Oh, so it's
He
tit for
wasn't
tat?
telling.
I
He
was
wasn't
at
telling me
work.
where he was going. He was getting
was
off
at
of work and not
work.
coming home until 3 or 4 hours later. And it'd been like that for 3 months.
If
Then
the
why
man
couldn't-
had grown up with your brothers and he was your friend all of those years, why was it just all of a sudden, now that your husband was not coming home, that you had to start going over to this man's
Because
house?
I had just met him. My husband had met him first, and I had
Oh,
just.
this story's getting worse. What else you want to tell me?
I also, I mean, if she was not cheating on me, I also found this card here, and if she wasn't cheating,
What
why
does the
wouldn't?
card say?
It's got the number of the. It's like a little swingers club.
I got
You know
that
what a swingers
card.
club is?
Let me see.
I got that card
No,
before.
I don't know what a swingers club is. School me.
I got that card
Sorry, Your Honor.
before, Your Honor. I got that card before we were married, and we were separated and living in different states.
And it's a swingers club, and she has a card. So what does that mean? Does that say she was with this man that you said she was with?
No, it doesn't say that she was with that man, but I believe she was going there.
No.
I mean, I haven't cheated on this woman when we
Well,
moved.
she said that you brought in her best friend and put her in
Right.
in her bed.
For one, it wasn't her bed.
Yes, it is.
Whose
my
bed was it?
It was our bed, but I ended up paying for it because she left everything in the house.
Oh, okay, let me rephrase that. You brought her best friend and put her in your bed.
And I did not put her in my bed.
Where'd you put her?
She went into the back bedroom. That we have a 2-bedroom place, and she had moved out, and she had went to North Carolina with her sisters. And this girl, the night that she went to her sister's, I got in a car wreck.
Yeah, and
So now, is this the same best friend that came to tell you and spill the beans and to
Yes,
say,
it
I don't
is.
want you to get hurt?
Yes,
I
it
want
was
you
a
to know because I love you so and I'm so concerned
No.
about you as a friend that your wife is seeing somebody else. Is that the same best friend?
yes, it
That's
is.
the same best
It's
friend.
the same best
Oh,
friend, Your
really?
Honor, that took me to this man's
Your
house 3
best
different
friend?
times.
Yeah,
she
hers,
took
not
me,
mine.
She took me to this man's house 3 different times.
Who,
on
the
a-
That
same
makes it all
woman took
better?
you to the man's
Same
house?
best friend.
That don't
So
make it any
baby,
better.
this is what she did. See, you got
Yeah.
set up and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
She took you to the man's house, then
Yep.
went back and told your husband you were there.
Exactly. Exactly.
Is that what you're telling me?
Then he kicks me out, moves
That's
her
what you're
in.
telling me?
That's what I'm telling you. Yes.
So she introduced you to the man,
No, he introduced me to the person
but your best friend took you to his house?
Yes.
Several times.
several times.
Then she went back and told your husband you were going.
Exactly.
Oh, she's pretty good.
Well,
Yeah,
don't
now
make it
she's
my.
pregnant.
It still don't make it my fault
Now
that she's
she's
out behind
pregnant
my
for it.
back.
Now she's pregnant with his kid.
When divorce court returns, Amy testifies about David's plan for his unborn child.
He wants me to come down there and help him get custody of this baby and raise this baby.
The one that this woman is carrying?
That's right.
If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. Divorce court is back in the case of Amy Malone, who says her husband David's lack of affection forced her into the arms of another man.
We don't know it's my kid because she was only in that house a week before she was back out.
Ooh. So
And he
the
moved
best
his-
friend was only with you for 1 week?
That's right. And you know what? He
Her
moved
best
his
friend, yeah.
he
She
moved
wasn't my best friend.
But she was your wife's best friend. You trusted her. You trusted what she told you. I know you're not telling me now that you don't trust this woman telling you that that's your child.
No, I don't trust her because I don't know.
Why? She's a trusting person.
Amy's even told me she doesn't believe it's my child.
Oh, come on. But here's a woman that you trusted when she was bringing you tales about your wife. Why you don't trust her now when she's bringing you tales about you?
If he didn't
Well, because I
believe-
asked my wife about the tale she told.
Your
I
Honor.
came and I confronted her and the man she was with.
And I told him the truth, and he didn't believe me. He believed her.
And I did not kick you out. You moved
Yeah,
down to
no.
your sister's house and
No.
said you need to go stay
No.
there for a while, and you
No.
took everything
You asked
that
me to
you
leave.
wanted.
You said you
Okay,
didn't want
what
me to
else
live there
happened?
anymore.
You know what? The two of you, you'll never know who did what.
I know who did what.
On
'cause
top of all this,
No,
he
you
says
don't.
he says I went to my sister's. Yeah, I went to my sister's and found out he got in a wreck. And as soon as I got there, I called. And you know what I was told by this best friend? You're not needed here. I can take care of him just fine by myself. I was like, really?
Well, she was being a really true friend.
I said, I need to hear this from Dave. I need to hear it from Dave that he doesn't want me there. So Dave gets on the phone with stitches in his mouth and says, no, she's taking care of me just fine. I don't need you here. You know, and I was totally devastated.
Well, what's this about you breaking things up?
Yeah, I did.
What did you do?
I would get
Broke my
mad
stuff.
and I would throw plates, you know, and break plates and.
And then he
you know.
listened?
No, he still
Did
didn't
anything
listen.
change?
No, I had a
he's-
duck from
But
getting
it just
help
meant
with
that you
stuff. I
had
couldn't listen at the time.
fewer plates,
I had
right?
fewer plates. That's right.
and you
But-
had broken up things in your household
That's right.
that you had spent money for,
That's
No.
and he still continued to go about his own way.
That's
Yes,
not
he
So
true.
what
did.
did you accomplish by that?
Nothing.
She broke the things up to hurt you. Why you say that? Whose
Because
things were
they were my things. I had dog collection. They're different sizes dogs. They're porcelain and
A dog
ceramic.
collection?
Dog collections.
Yeah,
Just
anything
little
to
type
get his
of dogs.
attention.
And she purposely broke it to get my attention.
So this happened on a regular basis, her breaking up your things?
Yes, she'd
No,
come in
it
the
didn't
house.
happen on a regular
You would come in there and
basis.
clear the table just like that on a glass table. You cleared
it wasn't a regular basis.
Oh, yes, it was.
Why
Amy.
did you clear the table?
Because he
Ask him.
wasn't
Dishes?
listening.
Well, there was cups, dishes, and little things on
He
there.
wouldn't
And
listen.
she just come through and sweep them all away.
Like that.
He wouldn't
Big.
listen.
What was that all about, Mrs. Malone?
He would not listen. I wanted him to pay as much attention to our marriage that was failing as I was. That's what it was.
You were paying an awful lot of attention by breaking up things, I think.
Well, he wasn't obviously paying enough attention.
What
So
she
now
complained
you want-
about
you-
is
you
I
want
didn't
her to
hold
pay
her
for this
hand.
dog collection?
I didn't hold her hand. I didn't hug her enough. And I didn't kiss her enough. But I can't do it 24/7.
No,
Why
it
not?
wasn't. It wasn't
Because I
even
gotta
like
work.
that.
How am I supposed to be at work holding her and?
Wait,
and
Your Honor.
You mean it's impossible for you to go to work on 2 shifts and hug your wife and kiss her
That's
and tell
I
her
can
how
do
much
that
you
when I
love
come
her?
home. When I
That's
come
right.
home, I can. I'm saying
Your
when I'm
Honor,
at
But she
work, I
wanted it
can't.
all the time.
She
When
wants
we
it all
first-
the time.
When we first got married, Your Honor,
And yes, I
he
want the
got a
$80
job
for my dogs.
working 6 in the morning to 6 at night.
Okay.
And he worked a way harder job than a cashier.
But he
you
came
know?
home and paid you attention.
That's right. We went to family outings. We went on picnics. We went to the park. We did all kinds of family stuff.
Ms. Malone, I hear what you're saying is that you need to learn to balance when you're working.
That's right.
You have to learn to balance your work hours with your family and time and commitment to them.
He was
And
totally
I did.
ignoring me.
Hold on, but by the same token, I venture to say this man was not working 2 shifts because he enjoyed working so.
Oh, he didn't?
He probably was able to get what you accomplished by working 2 shifts.
Oh, he didn't enjoy his job so much that all his friends were able to go up there and he was socializing at work.
Okay, but he was bringing the money home that he made, right?
He wasn't giving
All
it
my
to me.
friends went to
The
that
last 6
store
months
because
we
they were
together,
buying
he wasn't
gasoline and
giving
everything
it to
else
me.
too.
Okay, what else? It seems like, you know, it's one of those no-win situations. I keep hearing these arguments and I hear these discussions regularly and I don't know. What do you want?
This has nothing to do with the work. This has to do with the fact that I hadn't left the house 3 days later.
Before he brought the best friend in and put her in your
and
bed.
now she's pregnant.
Okay. Now that's what it
6
really
months-
boils down
3
to,
months
right?
ago, 4 months ago, he calls me, okay? I called him finally and I said, look, maybe we can work things out, okay?
Yes, she
He
did.
wants me to come down there and help him get custody of this baby and raise this baby.
No,
The
I
one
did
that
not.
this woman is carrying?
That's
I
right.
did not.
Now,
That's
wait a minute. How
That's
could
a lie.
Stop.
No,
How
it's
could he
not a
ask
lie.
you to come and get custody of the child that he's now saying is not his child?
This was totally what he said.
That
He
is
said
not what I said.
He wanted me to come home. We needed to work things out. I still
She-
love you.
no.
Now come home and take care
She
of
called-
the best
That's
friend's
right.
baby.
That's
No,
right.
Oh, come on,
No,
Mr.
I
Phillips,
did
you
not
worked
even
that-
say that
That's
to her.
right. Yes,
when she
he
left, she
did.
went to her sister's house, and then she moved.
No, this is when I
Okay,
was
so
in
here's
jail
what
there.
She
Stop.
moved to another state.
I don't
hooked
want
up-
to hear anymore. All I've
Well,
heard
that's a
is
lie,
what
what
the
she's
really,
saying.
the real problem here is not because he was working 2 jobs.
That's right.
But because you were having problems working 2 jobs.
The real problem
You were
is
feeling
her.
neglected. But what
the real
really
problem was-
broke
The real problem is you.
No.
Because
The
you were
real
right up
problem-
on.
It takes 2 to tango.
You were on that phone clear up until about a week ago,
It takes
saying,
2
"Oh,
to
I want to come
tango.
and work it out." And then what did you do when you got out?
Because I had
yeah.
other things
They don't
going
need me.
on.
Yeah, you had other.
They don't
Yeah.
need me. You
Yeah,
need
we
me?
do. Yeah.
You want to tell me something? Because I'm about to leave.
Sorry, Your Honor.
You seem to be talking among yourselves, what you probably should have done a long time ago.
When divorce court returns, the judge renders her verdict.
That's it.
What about
What about what?
what about the $20?
Oh, man, get out of my courtroom.
And an update on the case of Denise Lewis versus Michael Grover.
I did everything that I could to make it work. I loved him and I was willing to do that. And what I needed to know is that he loved me.
Divorce Court will be back in session in a moment. Divorce Court is back and the verdict is in the case of Amy Malone, who says her husband David's long hours at work left her lonely and longing.
Now, what you want me to do?
All I want out of this is my $80 for them dogs because I've collected them dogs. And
Your dog collection that
yes,
she
they're a
broke
dog
up.
collection, and special people gave them to me, and they mean a lot. And for
those
her
were
just
what you had before marriage?
Those are what I've had
Or
before.
did you buy them during the marriage?
Before and during.
Well,
of
how
them
many
I
did you
paid
have
for.
before?
Huh?
How many did you have
I had probably
before?
about 50 of them before the marriage.
And how many did you collect during the marriage?
Probably about another 70.
And so 120 dogs were $80?
No, she only broke a couple of them.
I only
I'm not
broke
saying she
two.
broke
You only
them all.
broke two.
I only broke
broke
Okay,
two.
the
three.
two you broke, were they the two he had before or after marriage?
Four.
Before marriage?
Before.
Okay, pay for them. $80. You're ordered to pay. Now, what else?
That's all I wanted, Your
That's
Honor.
all you want?
That's all.
What about you?
I want the price of the bed that I paid.
No, that bed.
You want the
no.
bed back?
No,
No, I don't want the bed back. I want what I paid
Nope.
for it.
The bed
I
that the
put-
best friend
didn't
slept
pay
in?
That's
nothing.
right. That's right.
She did not pay nothing.
Because
And
I
if you
put
sit
the
here
down
and listen to
payment
what
on
she
it.
says, if she
when
paid for-
Let
when
me hear what she says.
When I got my settlement, we were sleeping on the floor in the house, okay? And I said, okay, well, let's go get a bed, okay? And we had separated at the time, and I had come back to him from Washington, okay? And I told him, I said, let's go get a bed.
Now the question is, what's the value of the bed?
All right, $239.92.
No, that's what you paid for it. It lost its value as soon as you took it out the store.
I didn't early pay it out.
I
paid
understand
$500
that, but
for
you
the
know what?
bed.
Part of
You
that
did
payoff
not.
It was $500.
part
was
of the
not.
payoff was interest. Right?
Right.
That's not the value of the bed. Once somebody sleeps in the bed, once somebody lays in the bed, then it's defiled by a best friend and a husband. All right? What value does that bed have to you, really? Other than the fact
Your Honor,
that the best friend slept in it. What value does it have?
Nothing.
None whatsoever, does it?
No.
So that's why you don't get anything for it.
It's
all right?
fine.
Reimburse him the $80.
Well, he's saying he paid $80. No, he didn't pay $80 for those two dogs. He's asking $80 for the dishes and the
He
dogs.
didn't say anything about any dishes.
Okay, well, no.
Yeah, it was the
he
dishes
he,
and
he
the
said
Well, how
coffee.
much were the dogs worth, Mr. Phillips?
The dogs were $60.
$60?
Right, but it was the dishes
No,
and the dogs
these
together
two
was
little
80.
dogs,
Well,
Your
the
Honor.
dishes you bought during the marriage.
Yes.
Yes.
No, you can't get the dishes back either that she
And
broke
these,
up.
and these two
If she
little
keeps
dogs, they
breaking
were
them,
two
I gotta
dogs
keep paying
this
for 'em.
size.
You know what? If they were whatever size they were his. He had them before you married
Your
him.
Honor-
You didn't have a right to break them. I don't care how angry you were and what kind of lesson you were trying to teach him. Instead, you learned the lesson. The lesson is you don't destroy people's property when you're angry. Now you have to pay for it. Pay him the $60. That's it.
What about
What about what?
what about the $20?
Oh, man, get out of my courtroom.
All right. When Divorce Court returns, an update on the case of Denise Lewis versus Michael Grover.
She said she was pregnant and she was with another man.
Oh, this is not your baby. This is his baby. I don't know where he getting that from.
Closed captioning for Divorce Court provided by. If you would like to have the judge hear your case in Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. And now for an update on a previous case in Divorce Court. Denise Lewis said she tried and tried to make her husband Michael happy, but after only 15 months of marriage, he walked out on her.
I did everything that I could to make it work. I loved him and I was willing to do that. I was being too loving for him.
What was wrong after 4 months? You didn't want sex with your wife? You
No.
couldn't tell her you loved her? She quit her job. She's washing, she's cleaning, she's cooking. She's doing everything she can. What went wrong?
And what I needed to know is that he loved me and I wasn't making him love me back.
I didn't even have a key to my own house. She said she was pregnant and she was with another man.
Oh, this is not your baby.
This is his baby. I don't know where he getting that from.
Denise said she was more than $3,000 behind on her mortgage and she wanted Michael to pay half of it. But after hearing the evidence, the judge decided that Michael did not have to give Denise any money. Although Michael said in court he was not the father of Denise's baby, he now says he's not even sure that she's really pregnant. Denise says that's ridiculous. Michael knows I'm pregnant. He even went shopping for a car seat and stroller with me. But I won't be surprised if that's the last thing he does for our child. Now Denise has found a better job as a computer programmer and is preparing to be a single mother.
If you're going to get married, make sure that both of you want to work at it and make sure that both of you are working at it, or it's not going to work.
Marriage, it's too much of a headache.
If he had been paying attention to me, maybe he, instead of paying so much attention to his stuff, then maybe we'd still have a marriage.
I'd like to be able to remain friends with her.
I'm glad it's over. I'm totally glad it's over. I hope I never see him again.